Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. What is going on? We are back at it once again to another rendition of the Anthony Around Town Show, the best darn talk show in, you know it, Elko, Nevada. That's right, boys and girls. This is the weekly show where we just hop online as a community and talk about some awesome people and history and events and goings-ons within our community.
Yes.
I'm your host, Anthony Crosby. I don't know if I said that yet or not, but just in case you weren't paying attention, there it is. That's my name. I'll say it 3 times just to be safe. I am Anthony Crosby, and joined with me yet again is my main man, cameraman, Mathew. Mathew, it's good to see you yet again, my guy.
Good to see you too, my guy.
What's been up?
Not a whole much. I think I say this every week. I'm always like just doing my day-to-days.
Your normal
not doing
thing.
too much. Just kind of going by life, enjoying it with Elizabeth.
Oh yeah. Elizabeth's his girlfriend, not his dog. Which, I mean, you know.
I think that's twice now that you've made it clear.
I had to make it clear. You never know.
Out of this entire,
you
I think,
never
4-month-long process that I've been with her,
people might just assume that you just really love hanging out with your dog. I mean, either way, there's no shame. Dogs are cool. Girlfriends are cool. It's all good.
Fun fact is I have a cat named Dog. So
you still have that cat?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Oh, okay. But things have been awesome. You've had a good. How was your weekend? Do anything cool?
It was a good weekend. Me, Elizabeth, our friends Scott and Rihanna, we went out to family friends of ours, the Wards. They're super amazing. I got to ride a horse for the first time in probably forever. I can't remember if I rode one when I was like a little kid. But yeah, I got to ride a horse. It was super fun. Kind of a weird experience, a little bit. Kind of having to trust the horse to know where to go. So that was fun. We ended up playing some Phase 10.
Nice.
Played some Munchkin, some really good games. Had just really good company and stuff. And
Did you fall off the horse at all?
I didn't.
Did you get bucked off?
Nope. I rode it for like 2 minutes, had some fun. It was super cold out, though.
It was pretty chilly this weekend.
I think we got out at like 5. Got set up at like 7 or something like that. And the wind was just out in Rendon was blowing really hard. It was super cold. So we went inside, got warmed up. So
very nice.
It was fun. I had a blast.
That sounds like a good weekend. What did I do this weekend? I hung out with my kids. We had a little daddy-daughter weekend, just chilled, ate some ice cream. But this was the first weekend we broke the putting off, if you will, of going to the park. My daughters are big park junkies. If they could, they would live. Literally, actually, my daughter, one of my 4-year-old, said if she could, she would live at the park.
Nice.
She's into it, loves it so much. But so it's interesting because they love the park, but I hate the cold. So we have to kind of come to a middle ground about when we're going to start going to the park every single week. Because I'm just like, I don't want to go and sit at the ice cold park for 3 or 4 hours. But they're like, who cares? We just want to go party. So this weekend was finally like, okay, I feel like it is cold, but it's warm enough to where we can go to the park and we'll compromise. So I was chilly, but I wasn't cold. But we didn't stay at the park for super long. We only stayed for a couple hours each day. So we had our first excursion there, and it was a lot of fun. But my big worry with going to the park with them for the first time is that, let's just say it just decides to snow next weekend. They're still going to be begging me to take them to the park because they're like, Dad, we went to the park last week, so we don't really get why. So I just always have to time it perfectly. It's all about that timing. You got to think it through, but we did it. It was fun. It was an awesome weekend. I just hope all of you had a great weekend. If you've been watching our show for a while, you're a regular, an Anthony Around Town follower and subscriber and all those other ways to describe yourself. We still need like a name specifically for our Anthony Around Town peeps, like towners, maybe we call them all the towners out there. We'll have to workshop that. We'll workshop that and let you know. But You know who you are. Thank you so much for just joining us every single week. Seriously, hope you had a great last 7 days since we were here last Monday. This is your first time checking us out. Hello, welcome. We're just here to hang. We're just here to talk to each other and to some of you. So this is why we go over to our live chat every single week. We have a couple people on there already. Elaine, the wonderful editor of written content for Anthony Around Town. Nay, actually, for the editor of written content for Anthony Around Town. Is really big into Phase 10. So you got her to comment that her and her mom are really into it. So I played it before. I don't remember loving it, but it was fine. It was a solid game. I don't know. Board games. I like Life. I like Candyland. I like games like Family Feud and stuff like that. But I like to like host. I like to read the cards. Yeah. If I get to read cards, I don't necessarily have to play, but if I could read cards with a wooden spoon in my hand, like a microphone, I'm into that.
Good, something like trivia.
Yeah. I love reading the cards for trivia. Actually, foreshadowing to something we're gonna do later tonight. Elaine Castle says hi. Hi, Elaine. Good to see you.
How are you doing?
We're very thankful to have all of you joining us once again. We're going to get rocking and rolling this evening, but before we do, we just have to do our thing where we give some love to our awesome sponsors. Our sponsors help make this live stream possible. Not just this live stream, but our podcasts that come out, our videos, our blogs, all that sort of stuff. We can't do this on our own because it takes location space, it takes money, it takes all these different factors, but we're very thankful that local businesses in the Elko community believe in what we're doing here enough to have our backs. And the first business we're going to give a shout out to is NV Off-Road, located at 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. That's 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. NV Off-Road, a fantastic local business, especially for those of you with power sport vehicles. So, Mathew, give us a list, 3 of them right now, off the top of your head. Name some power sports vehicles. What are they?
A snowmobile,
boom,
a dirt bike,
boom,
a quad.
That works.
Yeah.
Could have thrown
could we do dune buggies?
I don't. Yeah. Side by sides. I guess you could technically say jet ski. Anything that just gets you out in the elements, riding the hills or jumping over sand dunes, all that sort of fun stuff. MV Off-Road wants to help make sure you have more time out and about doing all those fun activities and less time in your garage tinkering away trying to figure out what hose popped or what have you. So what you can do is you can just bring your vehicle here and make sure everything's all good. And when you do, please just let them know that Anthony Around Town sent you. They provide the physical location where we're streaming out right now. So we're actually at NV Off-Road's headquarters at 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. That's where we currently are. So we got to give them some love. So again, that's NV Off-Road. The next business we want to give a shout out to is the Remax Gold Jesse James team. That's right, Remax Gold, the Jesse James team. They support Anthony Around Town and all of our endeavors. Mathew, just like nobody wants to sit in their garage and mess around with their four-wheeler all weekend, nobody wants to spend all weekend stressed and confused and have a headache about what to do when it comes to your home buying needs. I mean, there's a lot of needs of that. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of going around looking at the right houses. There's a lot of negotiations. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of moving boxes. It all gets super crazy. But you know something, Mathew, that makes that whole experience just a little bit easier? Can you guess what that is?
I'm guessing it's going to be Jesse James and the Remax Gold team.
Good guess. That's right. Because not only does Jessie and her team know her stuff when it comes to the home buying experience, she's just an overall super nice person. I mean, I think both of us have known Jessie for a long time personally. She's just a big supporter of the community, has a super big heart, super involved with her local church, all these sorts of good things. So when you go and you talk to her, or when you give her a call at 775-777-5220, you know you're going to get a person who just has your back. And I think that can do wonders through that whole process. So again, if you need to give Jessie and her team a call, you can do so at 775-777-5220, or you can visit them at 940 Idaho Street here in Elko. And of course, when you do, let her and her team know that Anthony Around Town sent you. All right, now let's get back into what we are just going to be doing the rest of the night. Me and you, we're just going to be hanging out and kind of following the typical format that we have on this live stream, which is we look back at the past content that was released last week from Anthony Around Town's website or our YouTube channel, all that sort of good stuff. And we just kind of break it down. We just kind of talk about it in depth, maybe come at it from a different perspective that wasn't presented on the site itself last week. So we're just going to roll right into that tonight. Quickly, Matthew, this isn't on our show notes, but I just remembered we put out a video last week on our YouTube channel. Really quick, let's just share your quick thoughts on it. It was the Anthony and Mathew's Elko breakfast burrito taste test. So long story short, we went around town, we ate burritos, we filmed ourselves eating those burritos and gave our reaction. Anything you want to throw out there about that video we put out?
It was pretty fun. It was pretty tasty.
It was delicious.
It was pretty cold because it's 6
it was very early in the morning. We had to start shooting that early.
I had my hoodie shirt and then my sweatshirt.
I think we're supposed to start shooting that around 5. Matthew didn't hear his alarm, so whatever.
Man?
Oh, what?
You scheduled me at 6.
Well, did I say 6? Okay, maybe I said. I was up at 5. I was ready to go. I had the camera. I had the gear. My taste buds were roaring. My stomach was awake. I was ready to create some content. But Matthew, he had to finish out his dreams. That's fine.
I did. Need my beauty sleep.
Sleep. Yes. Anything else about that video? Really quick. It was fun. It was
honestly,
a good time.
It's kind of funny too. We didn't catch it until afterwards. Somebody had pointed it out to us. But we got 2 of the burritos.
Yes, thank you, whoever corrected us.
The same place. We got one from, it was
Mud Hut,
and then
Cool Beans. But we were informed that Mud Hut actually gets their breakfast burritos from Cool Beans.
Was it Cool Beans or was it Cowboy Joe's?
It was Cool Beans because Cowboy Joe's gets theirs from Rigoberto's, I think, or something like that. Roberto's.
No, it was Donuts and More.
Donuts and More. Donuts and More. You're right. I was thinking Donuts and More in my head, but I said Cool Beans for some reason. But yeah, it's Donuts and More. Yes.
So it was funny because we had grill marks on the Donuts and More ones that we got at Donuts and More. But there wasn't grill marks on the one, and we got 2 different burritos, and so they kind of looked a little bit different and everything, so we didn't quite catch it. But, overall, good burritos. So
it was delicious.
Definitely go check out some of those places we got, and you guys can find your own delectable burritos to
delectable, good word.
Go and get. So.
And some of you recommended places that we just forgot or just didn't go up to on the video, like 9 Beans. I heard that a million times. We didn't go to 9 Beans, but that just means we'll have to do a part 2 of that video in the future. So thank you for watching that video. Yes. A lot of you watched that video, so we just appreciate it. The fact that you took 26 minutes to do that. So if you haven't watched it already, it's here on our Facebook page somewhere, but it's also on our YouTube channel. Just search Anthony Around Town on YouTube. But last Wednesday, we put out a blog, as we do every single week. And this blog was just, it was a lot of fun for me to do when it came to the whole interview process of putting that article together, because I was able to sit down. Super honor and privilege to sit down with a 94-year-old World War II veteran. Yep. So literally fought in WWII. Kind of a big deal. Yeah. And so we just met at Stockman's, him, and I guess it's technically his niece, Winnie is her name. And we just sat down and really for a little over an hour, I just got to listen to him share stories, because usually behind the scenes process, if you ever, want to be interviewed for Anthony Around Town, the website, the blogs and all that, usually how it goes, I show up, I have a list of questions, we talk through those questions, and then I kind of pick and pull stuff from that conversation to write about. But in this case, I knew that obviously with his, this man's name is D Walker, by the way. I knew that D had some really cool stuff to share, being 94 years old, fought in World War II, came to Elko as a part of like a jukebox business. You remember, you know what jukebox are? Old school. So he's repairing jukeboxes or doing something with a jukebox business. Came to Elko, fell in love with Elko, and all that sort of good stuff. So just had all these stories. So I didn't want to berate him with necessarily a bunch of questions. I just wanted to shut up and just sit down and listen to him tell stories for an hour and a half. And that's what happened. It was really cool. It was an amazing conversation. And one of my favorite stories that he shared, and this is in the blog, you can go to the main site and read it, but he called it his Thanksgiving story. It's a really awesome story about how he ended up, was in the middle of the war, all over the place, but ended up having Thanksgiving with his brother in an overseas hospital, who was also, his brother also was fighting in the war. And what I want to do is I just want to take the next few minutes and actually share that conversation I had with D with you all right now. And never do this, never really take those conversations and just kind of put those out there. But I thought this man, obviously incredible man, served his country, all this sort of good stuff, and sharing this very interesting story, I thought it would be really cool for you all to not have only read that on the blog, but now hear that from his own mouth and have that experience of listening to him tell that story. So I'm just going to play that story now. It is just an audio recording of that conversation that we had, so you could just listen to it and follow along. At the beginning, you're going to hear a female's voice. That's Winnie, his niece. You'll hear me doing my dumb laugh throughout the video. It's always torture listening to yourself on audio playback because your voice always sounds so weird, but you'll hear me throughout it. But I just want you to listen to Dee's Thanksgiving story, and we'll talk about it once we're done. So let's get to it.
You should tell them about your Thanksgiving story.
Oh, hell.
That's kind of a miracle, and
that's the most beautiful part of my whole life.
Okay. Can't wait to hear this.
Okay, my brother was just 19 months older than me. He had already gone into the service, and I was doing basic training and getting back to my instincts. We happened to be on. I've got to bring my instincts to it because my whole life has been following my instincts.
Nice.
And we went to San Diego Camp Pendleton for basic training. Then we went up the coast of California a little ways. I don't know how far, but to Camp Mathew, it's called.
Okay.
For rifle range training. The way the rifle was, you would have the target out there, and you didn't use live ammunition.
Oh.
You one guy'd pull a trigger, and the other, your partner would be over there, and he'd slam it back like it had fired.
Oh.
So you could get the feeling of it.
Okay.
And then we'd do that for a while, and then we'd trade positions and do that. And all of a sudden, I don't know how it turned up, but I don't know if I found it or somebody else found it and passed it along. A live ammunition, live shell.
Yeah.
And so they was daring each other. Oh boy, you're going to call the officer or the instructor and turn it in and everything. And for some reason, my instinct, I thought, well, what the hell? And so I says, no, give it to me. And so I used it. Immediately I was in big trouble.
I'm sure.
Or they made me think I was in big trouble. There were 2 or 3 officers, non-commissioned officers, and policemen there, and grilling me and giving me work. And they suspended me for 3 days or some damn thing. But anyway, that was one of my instincts. And then mess duty was sort of like coming in here.
Okay.
Only just a big hall, and you'd eat, and then the people that had all previously volunteered for mess duty, rather than do something else, they would come in and clean up the trays and do the dishes and the whole works. Just so you know what mess duty is. When it came around to, we was through with our training and going back to Camp Pendleton, he says, why don't you volunteer for mess duty? Because they're always changing. And so I volunteered for month of mess duty.
Okay.
My instinct, his suggestion, but my instinct. Sure. And I volunteered for a month of mess duty. After basic training and rifle training and all of that thing, they sent me overseas. They sent me right to the 1st Marine Division. And I don't know how long I had been there. Anyway, they sent me to this outfit. I was we was doing rows of tents, about, I think, 6 men in a tent, and then 6 more rows of tents. And my particular company showers happened to be out of order. And so me and my friend they told us, well, you can go over into the next company and use theirs. So we was walking down through the row of tents, and they happened to be having mail call. And it was me being a slow thinker, and I guess not too bright, but anyway, slow thinker. I admit that. And me and my friend gabbing, and in the back of my mind, while they was having mail call, and they called Jack Walker. And I didn't pay too much attention till they called it about 3 times. And I thought, well, for hell's sake. For hell's sake. Could that possibly be? So I went back and asked the mail clerk if you have to get permission to do everything.
Sure.
I went to their leader and asked if I permission to go to the mail clerk, and the mail clerk was pleasant enough, and he said, yeah, you can see that letter. And I looked at the letter, and I could recognize my mother's handwriting.
Whoa.
So I knew that it was from my mother, and that I had been sent right to my brother's outfit. To finish that little story, I searched, went to their captain, the leader, whatever, and inquired how come they didn't, if they knew anything about Jack Walker, why he didn't. And they says, yes, he was, so they looked, it took them a little while to look in the records. And he had been wounded in the previous battle, and he was in the Naval Hospital on Guadalcanal, which was some 30 or 40 miles away from me.
Okay.
So I got permission from my outfit and from the mail people and everything else, and I got on the mail boat and went to and spent Thanksgiving that year with my brother in the hospital in.
Jeez, all because some showers were out and you just happened to go and hear the name called. Oh my gosh, wow.
The thing is, not only that, but my instinct to have a month of mail duty and not mail duty, a month of mess duty, and my little trouble with the rifle shooting and
gosh, wow.
Those other things.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't been for that, I would have been assigned to the units that went to Iwo Jima.
Oh,
the
really?
Battle of Iwo Jima. I would have been sent there and perhaps killed.
All right. So again, that was a conversation, part of part of a big long conversation I had with Mr. D. Walker, the 94-year-old World War II vet. So you got to hear a little bit about that. Super awesome, just to hear that whole experience that he had, all the little ins and outs that went into him having Thanksgiving with his brother. But Mathew, his whole thing, and he said it like 3 times in the segment that I played, but throughout the conversation that we had at Stockman's, he said multiple times that his big takeaway for life and just kind of this big overarching life theory that he has for just living and thriving is just following your instincts. So in that video he talked about, or that audio clip from the video, he talked about how he followed his instincts to put the live ammunition in the gun even though he knew he'd get in trouble. He followed his instincts to volunteer for mess duty in the mess hall, and he followed his instincts to go and just find new showers when his squad showers were, and all those little pieces come together to not only to where he was able to have Thanksgiving with his brother, but he was talking about the fact that because he made a couple of those choices, he was sent to the outfit that he was sent, and everything was good, and he could have been sent to a place where ultimately he believes he might have been killed in combat because of the battle that he would have ended up at. So all these little things all go back to him just following your instincts and everything will be cool. Any thoughts that you have on that life philosophy?
I definitely think that it's weird, but I do think that there's some truth in that, where just by following your instincts you can you can pick up on stuff, very small stuff, whether you consciously know it or not. You can pick up whether something bad's gonna happen, like you were saying, just keeping that live ammunition and stuff. And so just following your instinct to maybe going a certain route is ultimately will bring good stuff to come your way and stuff. And so I definitely think that it is one of those things where you can try to deny it or not, but some stuff does come out of that just by your gut feeling.
Your gut, yeah. I think that's what a lot of people refer to it nowadays, is just following your gut and what that looks like. And I feel like I in some ways I strive to live by that, because I'm just a big believer in let's see how I can put this. It's good to have your plans. It's good to have things that you want to lay out for the future, and all these to come goals, if you will. But there's something about realizing that we really don't know what tomorrow holds. We can predict and we can plan and we can strategize and we can guess, but nobody 100% can say they know. So there's something to just being in the moment and just reacting to what is presented in front of you, and not over calculating it, not over hypothesizing it, but saying, I have a feeling that even though this wasn't a part of the plan, or even though I hadn't really given this a thought, maybe I should go talk to this person, or maybe I should start this business, or maybe I should go to this place, whatever. I just this big believer that because we just don't know, sometimes you just gotta go with what you're feeling in that moment. And sometimes, and maybe even not, you'll see the fruit of that decision in that moment instantly, but maybe 3 or 4 steps ahead, you'll be able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't decided to go right that day and I would have went left, A, B, C, and D would have not have happened, and I wouldn't be where I am today, or what have you. Very interesting stuff, very deep stuff. But I knew I would only walk away with deep things to think about after somebody who's lived on this earth for almost 100 years. So I think I know a lot about life. In my 30 years, I got nothing on good old D. Walker. So very thankful to have him sit down with Anthony around town. So if you haven't had a chance to go check out his entire blog that we put out, again, just go to the Anthony Around Town website, anthonyaroundtown.com, and you could read all of that. All right, so now we're just going to take a pause before we get into the second half of tonight's show and get some love to our sponsors yet again. This sponsor that we're giving a shout out to is Elise O'Brien over at Heartwood Wellness. Every single month, Elise backs Anthony around town with everything that she has, and that just kind of falls in line with her philosophy for work and business. Because if you don't know anything about Heartwood Wellness, basically she's there to help people feel better, and she's just not there though to there's some medication at an ailment or just kind of prescribe something and send you on your way. No, Alicia, just like she does with Anthony Around Town, she has all of her clients back in a way that's personal, in a way that's unique towards them when it comes to helping them just spiritually, physically, mentally feel the best that they can. Over on her Facebook page, Elise O'Brien Heartwood Ayurvedic Counseling, you can actually see some videos that we started putting out over there for her. Because again, she's a sponsor of us, so we're going to help support her and all that we can. So we started putting some videos out of her just kind of breaking down and explaining in detail what her sessions look like and how you can maybe be thinking about if she is the right person to come alongside of you and help you in your wellness journey. So definitely would recommend that you just go over there and give that page a like, or you can just go see her. Again, her business is Heartwood Wellness. And of course, if you do, what should the people do, Mathew?
Tell them that you came from, or that you heard about her from Anthony Around Town.
That's right, 100%.
Show some love.
All right. Sorry, we just had a technical issue, so you got to see my big old double chin there. Sorry about that. But we still love Elise nonetheless. We're back. We're rolling. On to the second part of the stream. This is where we're going to talk about the feature that came out last Friday. This feature that we had last Friday was actually about a business that's not necessarily new, but it has some new owners. So in a way it's new, in a way it's not. And that business I am alluding to is Diamond Chippers. Do you know anything about Diamond Chipper? Why don't you break down what Diamond do you know? I'm just curious because we didn't really talk about this beforehand. Yeah. Do you know anything about Diamond Chippers?
I think I've actually been in there one time.
Okay.
My uncle took, it was a few years back, my uncle took me and my little cousin, I believe, to go get some, it's like some rolled ice cream.
Yeah, there you go.
Which was really cool to see. Kind of, it was super packed when we went. I want to say, I don't even think it was like opening. I think it was, that it had been open for a while. And we just stopped by and it was super packed. It looked super cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the biggest reason why I don't eat more Diamond Chippers is because it's on the other side of town. So maybe I should stop
He's
being
just
a
being lazy. Chris is calling him out. Wait, what would we call you out for? Oh, for oversleeping. And now you're just being lazy. Just kidding. Mathew is one of the hardest working people I know. But no, yeah, you broke it down to it. Basically, it's delicious rolled ice cream. And if you don't know what rolled ice cream is, they kind of broke it down for me. You get like a cold plate, right? I think they said it gets down to -4 degrees. You pour some like liquid ice cream, basically ice cream soup on it. And I watched the new, I should have said their names, obviously, but it's Luke and Tanya Farr are the new owners. This is who we interviewed for the article. But jumping ahead past the article, at the end, they showed me how it all worked. He poured that liquid onto the cold plate, and then he let it get a little cold, a little solidified, and then he turned it into a square, and then just started rolling that square of ice cream up like a fruit roll-up into like 3 chunks of rolled ice cream. My flavor, you can see the picture of what I got in the blog, but I think it was like blueberry cheesecake something, and oh man, it was pretty good. I had that, like, I met with him like around lunchtime, so that pretty much turned into my lunch for that day. But it was delicious. It was really, really good. And I'm excited for what Luke and Tanya are going to be doing over there at Diamond Chippers. If you don't know where Diamond Chippers is, it's over at the East End Mall, kind of next to like JCPenney's and Sears. I don't know what Sears is. Albertsons, Kid to Kid, all that sort of Pizza Hut. It's all over there, and it's really legit. The reason why, though, if you're like, okay, like, Luke and Tanya Farr. Why do you call it Diamond Chippers? That's kind of a random name. It's because the old owner was a local favorite, Mr. Chip Stone, used to own it, and he sold it to them, and they're just looking to do some really cool things with it going forward under their ownership. Cool. They've only owned it since, I think they said November, so they were only a few months in, but they have some great ideas. You'll probably see a lot of those changes and just some of their own vision, if you will, come into effect this spring in a couple of months. But yeah, it's delicious. Cool. It's delicious. So Mathew, I just got to thinking about, obviously, writing a whole blog about ice cream. Put ice cream on my brain,
because that's what we do.
Because that's just how it goes. This is Anthony Around Town. This is how we roll. So what I was thinking about is looking when I was at Diamond Chippers. They're like, okay, pick what kind of ice cream you want. We'll make it for you. We'll show how it works. You could give the little taste test, thumbs up approval. So I looked at their board, their menu of all their different flavors and varieties and all that, and it was pretty intricate. They had a lot of different things to choose from, and it wasn't just like chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. It was like, again, I had like blueberry cheesecake, and then there was like chocolate, but it's like chocolate something really decadent, and then all this other stuff, and I was like,
chocolate super decadent.
That might have been something like that, something to that effect. And I was like, dang, they go all out with their ice cream flavors. And I was like, half of these flavor combinations, I didn't even know that was a thing, because maybe I am just boring, and I like myself a good scoop of French vanilla ice cream. So I was thinking about ice cream flavors and some of the wacky flavors out there, not just in Elko, but the world. And I decided to take those ice cream flavors, put them into a list, and then turn that list into a game that we're going to play right now for the next few minutes of the show. Good. The game is called Two Scoops and a Lie. Because it's a variation of the popular game Two Truths and a Lie, where a person, in this case Mathew, is presented with three options, A, B, C, and two of those options are true and in fact, and one of those options is false. And it's Mathew's job to determine which of those options is true and which one is false, and call out the one that's false. Hopefully that you can. Yeah. So, but this version, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out three flavors of ice cream that I may or may not have found on the interwebs. We're going to do this for 5 rounds. Again, 2 of these flavors that I'm going to read out of these 3 are true ice cream flavors that are actually out there. You can drive to wherever these are being served and taste it yourself. And one of them I completely made up in my living room. So, are you ready to play Two Scoops and a Lie?
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. First set of options. You got Vietnamese coffee with roasted almonds and peanut butter curry.
That's long.
Yeah, these are extreme flavors. Again, this isn't your daddy's ice cream. Vietnamese coffee with roasted almonds and peanut butter curry. Option 2, goat cheese beet swirl. Yeah, I said it. Goat cheese beet swirl. And then option 3, fresh mowed grass. All right. So out of Vietnamese coffee, frosted almonds with peanut butter curry, goat cheese beet swirl, and fresh mowed grass, which one of those is the lie? And maybe you at home watching this, you could play along too. Which one of those options do you think is total BS?
I mean, I think they all sound legit in some manner.
Okay.
Goat cheese, like goat milk actually is pretty good.
Okay.
So I mean, I could imagine a dairy product. Don't show me the answers.
Oh, sorry. Well, you wouldn't be able to see. I know the answers in my head. Okay.
Oh, let me see them then.
No. No, off the top of your head, actually, the answers are in bold. But out of the answers, which one do you think is just not right?
Like, I can imagine there being some restaurant out there, crazy as it sounds, probably from Japan, that sells fresh mowed grass ice cream. And that's what's throwing me off. That's such a wild one that I think you were trying to be as possible, like extra as you could. I think
Call me
Vietnamese
extra?
coffee with roasted almonds and peanut butter curry.
It's the lie.
I think that's the lie. I think you were trying to stretch it out as long as you could.
That sounds like something I would do, but it's not what I did in this case.
No.
That is true. Goat cheese beet swirl is true. The lie is fresh mowed grass.
Okay.
There's no such thing as fresh mowed grass
I
ice cream.
overthought it.
You
I
did
should've went
overthink
with my
it. Sorry.
instincts.
All right. Here's round 2 of 5.
It's those restaurants at Japan.
Yeah,
They mess
they'll
me up.
get you. Okay. Choice 1. Teriyaki beef jerky. Pineapple cilantro sorbet. Butter infused ice cream topped with cooked lobster. What are the? I'll read them again. Teriyaki beef jerky, pineapple cilantro sorbet, butter infused ice cream topped with cooked lobster. 2 of those are legit. 1 of those is a lie.
I'm gonna have to say pineapple and cilantro sorbet
Is the lie.
is a lie.
Okay, I'll tell you the ones that are true first. Butter infused ice cream topped with cooked lobster, legit.
Okay.
Pineapple cilantro sorbet, legit. The lie is teriyaki beef jerky. So you are 0 for 2, my dude. 0 for 2. But you still have
Dude.
3 rounds left, so you can technically still bring home the bacon. Or in this case, bring home the sprinkles. We're talking about ice cream.
Wild.
All right, round 3.
All right, let's do this.
Raw tree bark, sweet potato, maple walnuts, fig, and fresh brown turkey. I'll read them again. Again, one of these is fake. Raw tree bark ice cream, sweet potato, maple walnut ice cream, fig, and fresh brown turkey ice cream. Which one is fake?
I think is that middle one. It was.
It was sweet potato, maple walnut.
Yeah, I think that one's the fake one.
That one is 100% true. Wrong. Sorry, buddy.
Oh my god!
Do you have a second choice?
It's gotta be that top one.
Raw tree bark?
Yeah.
You should have went with that. Yes. Raw tree bark was fake. Fig and fresh brown turkey is legit. All right.
I'm good at pointing out one of them being true. Oh my
It's
gosh.
all right. It's all right. Let's just bring it home.
This
Let's
is
bring it
rough.
home.
I'm
Round
gonna count
4.
that as 0.5.
Round 4 of 5. What's real? What's fake? Extra virgin olive oil ice cream. White fungus bird's nest ice cream. Goat cheese with red cherry ice cream.
What was that middle one again?
Middle one, white fungus bird's nest.
Yeah, it's gotta be that one. That one sounds awful.
It does sound awful because
No.
it's fake. No, you
Okay,
got
okay.
it. Yeah, that was the lie. Good job. You're 1 for 4. 1 of 4.
I thought you were gonna be like that one does sound fake, but it's actually super good.
No. So the other 2 are real. All right, last round. Here we go.
Okay.
What's real? What's fake? Granny's sweet potato casserole ice cream.
I think that one's a good one.
Ghost pepper peppermint ice cream.
I can imagine that being true.
Fried squid and rice ice cream.
Fried squid and rice.
That you think is
Yeah.
Fake?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it. He was
Yeah.
right. Fried squid and rice ice cream was fake. The ghost pepper peppermint ice cream, there's actually that out there. And Granny's sweet potato casserole ice cream is legit. So have you any of those flavors? Did you like, okay, I know for sure that one's real because I've heard of that one or I've tasted that one before?
I could say I haven't tasted it, but I could say that the ghost pepper peppermint, I was like a 98%.
You got a feeling about that one?
Like I was like, oh, that one has to be real. I know just spicy stuff. Like for instance, spicy Pepsi. That was a thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Super ashamed as a
Forgot
human
about
being
that.
that was a thing. But people liked it.
That's true.
And so that I've heard of spicy ice cream in the past, so I can definitely imagine people would take it to the ghost pepper level.
Okay.
But I have not tried that. I've not.
Maybe
heard
that'll
of
be something we'll have to
any of
try
these.
on the show one day or something. Go find. I wonder what the most extreme flavor of ice cream found in Elko, Spring Creek area is.
Yeah, this is a
We
lot.
should find it.
I
And we should
should've-
try it.
I should have figured out raw tree bark because fresh mowed grass. Those are like almost the exact same kind of
Yeah.
like makeup. But sweet potato maple walnut just sounded really. I don't know what it was. Just sounded really to me. And then teriyaki beef.
You
I
never
can
know.
imagine.
I'm sure.
Once
See, the
again,
thing with some of
it's
these
those
is like I have a
restaurants.
hard time saying these have never been done. Nobody does this because I'm sure there's some guy out there or
Who's
girl out there
done.
who's like, dude, what if I
Put some.
took my lawnmower, dumped all the stuff that I just got finished cutting onto my bowl of ice cream, mixed it up, and called it good. I'm sure there's some weirdo out there like it, or like somebody's cooking with or actually that one is real. Somebody just went to sushi and they had too much at the restaurant, so they brought home some of their rolls of sushi. And like, dang, I need to eat this sushi because my day is so busy tomorrow. I'm not gonna have time to eat it. It's gonna go bad. But I don't really want more sushi at home. I want ice cream. I want something sweet. I want dessert. I want to end my day on a tasty note.
Sushi,
And then that way, so they take their sushi, their rice, and their fried fried squid, and they dump it into their Neapolitan and blend it up. I'm sure it's happened.
Honestly, if you didn't say fried squid,
Okay.
I think if you said something along the lines of like a little bit less than fried squid, so maybe like some tuna and rice.
Tuna is
ice cream?
tuna and rice ice cream.
Because they
Ugh,
have those
man.
rice pudding ice creams.
Yeah, but does it taste like tuna? That's the part that
No,
gets me.
but if you threw tuna in there, I don't
Ugh.
think I would have gotten that.
Oh my gosh.
I think that one would have
Gross.
like fried my brain. I'm like, no, these all have to be true.
Yeah.
That was
pretty interesting,
that
huh?
was hard.
That was legit.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was hard.
So go check out the article that we wrote on Diamond Chippers, the new owners, Luke and Tanya. And just go in and say hi. This is obviously the time of year that's tough for our ice cream shops and businesses that offer cold treats because we're still a little cold. But trust me, you're not going to regret going in and getting yourself a cup of rolled ice cream. So do it. Let them know the Anthony Around Town sent you. And just go support a local business and new local business owners. All right, so that was the content that came out last week. Now looking forward to the content that's coming out this week. We're going to have the usual blog on Wednesday, blog on Friday. But this Thursday, instead of a video like we had last week, we're actually having a new episode of the Anthony Around Town podcast coming out. Mathew, why don't you tell us a little bit about this week's guest?
This week's guest was probably pretty tired, even though it was like 10:30 in the morning.
Maybe.
They were also probably super hungry because it was also 10:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So that's a good
is it
setup.
A teaser?
Yeah, we got the teaser video right here. Okay. So let's show the people.
Yeah, that works, I guess.
Let's show the people who exactly we're talking about.
Right.
It's time to introduce this week's guest. We have somebody very near and dear, not only to my heart, but the entirety of the Anthony Around Town brand. It is, of course, Mr. Mathew Rom, a.k.a. Cameraman Mathew. What is up, buddy?
Definitely appreciate you for always being there, man.
Boom, we just high-fived. You couldn't see that on the podcast, but we did because we're bros. So very thankful for you, man. Thanks for everything that you do for just the content we produce here on a weekly basis. Definitely could not do it without you. All right, enough of the mushy talk. Let's get into the juicy part of this podcast, the part where I get to ask our guests some out there questions. Mathew, are you ready for this?
This is like my favorite part.
Would you rather win $50,000 or let your best friend win $500,000? If you could design an app to do anything you wanted, just take out limitations, take out the practical aspects. If you could design an app to do anything, what would that app be? What would it do? I'm just going to read the description and you tell me if that is a legit real anime or if it's something I made up. On a strange island lives a community of brown poop fairies. One of these fairies, Uncle San, has the ability to give luck to others. With this power, Uncle San hopes to wipe away the metaphorical manure that plague his unlucky friends.
Pretty finally.
Hey, our guest for Thursday is the one and only cameraman, Mathew.
Yep.
So, you've been featured on the blogs before, like a year or so ago. You're obviously in all of our videos. How did it feel to round the bases, if you will? Oh, and you're on the live stream, so now you've officially been on all 4 pieces of content that Anthony Around Town produces. You did the videos, you've done the blogs, you're obviously on the live stream right now. And now, as of Thursday, we could officially say you've been on the Anthony Around Town podcast. How did it feel?
It was good. It was fun. It was a really cool interview. Like you guys heard in the teaser video, there was some out there questions.
Yep, that's how we do it.
I think. Can I share how many I got right on that last one? Is that too much?
Oh, okay. So the last question, in case you didn't hear, I asked Mathew, because he's a big anime guy. Yeah. So I asked him to tell me, out of a list of anime descriptions, which ones were actually legit anime that are out there that you can watch on any one of those platforms, or maybe ones that I just completely made up. So we were playing a little truth or lie, kind of like what we just did with the ice cream. So you can tell them how did you do?
I think I got 2.
I think you did pretty. Did you? I honestly don't remember. Yeah, you did all right. You did all right.
Either. I think I got 2. I think I'm.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you at least got a couple.
I don't want to, in case you guys want to like kind of follow along, I don't want to share any of my answers. But I can tell you that those 2 that I did get correct, if I got those 2, were totally like instinct, no idea. Because I think it wasn't a hard like one of these is false. It was one of these could be false, or I think multiple of these could be false, or something like that. And so I think I 2 of those I got on like I think
you'll
those
have
are
to
right,
listen. You have to listen to find out.
Yep, definitely check it out. Like I said, it was fun. It was
like
10:30, so I was I might have been a little bit tired.
As usual. But that's the whole point of the podcast. Just in case you're wondering, they're different from the vlogs, different from the videos, because we just ask these random questions to try to get to know our guests a little bit better. So you see Mathew every single week, but you're going to hear a side of him on Thursday that you don't get in these live videos or anywhere else. So we're very excited to have his podcast come out. So check it out Thursday. Really all over wherever you get your podcasts on the daily. So Apple, Google, Spotify. There's a couple other smaller ones that we got accepted to recently that I just can't remember. But those are usually the biggest ones. Or you can just head over to our main podcast hosting site, which is anchor.fm, and just search Anthony Around Town. But yeah, wherever you get your podcast, just search Anthony Around Town, and you'll be able to not only listen to Matthew's episode on Thursday, but the past episodes that we put out throughout January and February, you can do so there as well. All right, I guess this is going to be the wrap up, the closing ceremonies of yet another wonderful rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. As we said earlier, we had some technical difficulties. We had some camera, we had a camera go out on us. So I'm just going to put this last graphic over Matthew's face. You can still see his hands though. There you go. This graphic was supposed to be on our second camera to let you know that throughout this evening, we've been giving some plugs to our awesome sponsors who help make this content possible. But we're always looking to partner with more local businesses here in the Elko area. So if you have a business and you're just trying to think of how can you better use your advertising dollars and really just get it out there in a 2020 way. This isn't 1995. This isn't 1984. This isn't even 2003. It's 2020. You got to put yourself out there in a 2020 way. And there's no better way to do that than by sponsoring Anthony Around Town, because we're all about moving forward with media and content and all that sort of good stuff. So if you are interested, then you can just give us you can just hit us up on our email, anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. That's anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. And maybe you could see your logo here over Matthew's face. Probably not, because we'll fix our camera for next week.
Right.
All right, Mathew, anything else that you want to throw out there before we officially say
I do? Yeah, I kind of do.
Uh-oh. What?
You said this isn't 1995. What's wrong with 1995?
It's
I
just
was
old
born
school.
in
That's old school. That was a good year. I was a little strapping young lad running around, hanging out. But it's not 1990. It's 2020. You gotta get with the stuff.
1990.
It's not 1990. That was a good year. That year was an amazing year. Can't beat 1990. You can't beat the Anthony Around Town live stream. Hopefully that's how you're feeling right now as we get ready to say goodbye. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. Just some things to let you know before we head out. Just need to let you know. Actually, Mathew, just jump out of the way. Jump out of the shot so the people could see our beautiful. Move your chair. There we go.
I'll be back.
There we go. Now you can see our beautiful banner right there. As you can see, we're all over social media here on Facebook, of course, but we're also on Instagram. Just search Anthony Around Town. We're on YouTube. Just search Anthony Around Town. We're on Anchor, where all of our podcasts live. Just search Anthony Around Town, and you'll be able to keep up to date on all the stuff coming out from us every single week. Okay, you can come back. That's good. That's good. I miss you. It's too lonely here when you step out of the shot. Glad you're back.
About 1990.
As I mentioned earlier, if you need to get a hold of us for anything,
yes.
You need a question for me, question for Mathew, you have a interesting flavor of ice cream you'd like us to come try, because after this episode, I want some ice cream pretty bad. I'm kind of have an ice cream on the brain, but whatever you need, you can just get a hold of us, anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. That's anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. Yes. The main site where all of our content lives is anthonyaroundtown.com. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all the stuff that comes out on a week-to-week basis, what you should do is you should go sign up to be a part of our weekly newsletter, email newsletter, if you will. This comes out every single Monday, and it just has every link to the content that came out the week prior in the upcoming Monday's email. So this morning, I sent it out to, we have a good amount of subscribers to that email list now. Sent it out to them. So all they had to do is open their email, and they'll have links to those 2 blogs we talked about tonight. Yep. They'll have links to that breakfast burrito in there. They'll have a link to last week's live show in there. And they'll just never have to feel like they messed out, because it'll all be right there. And it's super easy to sign up for that email list. All you have to do is drop in your email, your first and last name, and you are good to go. So you can do that by hitting the Stay Connected button on the Anthony Around Town main site, or just hang out for a couple of seconds, and a pop-up's going to hit you right in the face asking if you'd like to do so. So I highly recommend that you do. All right, man. I think that's going to do it. That's going to do it for another rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. I have nothing really left to say, except I'm excited for people to hear your podcast on Thursday. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. So outside of that, we got some cool stuff coming up, but stay tuned.
All right. We'll talk about that later. That's going to do it, guys. Until next time.
Catch you later.
See you around, Elko.